Hey, I'm Bill. This is Vital Bike Chains. Today we're going to look at a new chain. It's by SRAM. It's the new red chain. It's the E1 version. And something I do with new chains periodically is check them for wear or stretch. So let's take a look at this chain. Actually, this is just the box. The chain's hanging over there. So the first thing you'll notice is the cutouts on both the inner and outer links on both sides of the chain. I think it looks pretty cool. So if you're shopping for the silver chain, you're gonna look for this black and sort of this gray, silvery looking logo. But if it's the rainbow you're looking for, you want to find this package that has sort of the coppery, purpley color. All right, so this is not the new chain. This is, I don't know, some Shimano chain. So basically, you can take one of these wear gauges, whichever one you like, and just do a quick check. Now, so this gauge is like many gauges. It's going to show you kind of a go, no go, kind of go, no go, maybe not go. So there are many versions of this kind of checker. Matter of fact, I think the park tool looks exactly the same as this, except it doesn't say Pedro's. Here's the KMC gauge. All right, so this is a new Shimano chain. We're gonna, well, first we're gonna turn it on. All right. And then we're going to put it in here, you give it a squeeze, and this is a new chain. So you give it a new squeeze, and there we go. And hey, you can actually see it. It comes up as zeros, all right? So I like to do this with new chains periodically, just make myself feel better. All right, and here's our new flat top chain. The Red E1, all right, put it in the stand here. All right, so I'm gonna take my KMC chain checker, yes. And I'm going to put it on here, and I wanna make sure that my chain is good, right? Well, why doesn't it work? Because it says KMC on it? No, that's not it. The reason that won't work is that SRAM in all their wisdom have decided to play a trick on us. I can't really measure it with it in the stand here. So now take your Amazon purchased calipers and to your best ability, measure the roller. Try not to snag the inner link here. When I measure the roller, I get 0.311, which is pretty close to 0.310. Herein lies the problem with this tool, along with many others that are measuring the same distance, is it's measuring from sort of within rollers. So it's measuring kind of on the inside of this roller, and then it's measuring the inside of this roller. Now let's take a look back at the Pedro's gauge. Something that this gauge, along with the, similar park tool and Shimano and SRAM and whoever else that make sort of this three-prong chain gauge, it's now measuring from the outside of a roller all the way to the outside of a roller. And that's why it works for SRAM flat top chains, because it's taking out the fact that the rollers are slightly larger, oversized compared to other chains. Now, so these gauges are typically a go, no go gauge. What if you want to know more? What if you want to know if it's between okay and 0.5%? That's where the KMC comes in great, but again, it's not going to work for this scenario. So what can you do? One thing I've tried doing is using my caliper again. And unfortunately, it doesn't work so good with the stand because the stand is in the way. So I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to turn it upside down. And then we're gonna measure the same distance as the KMC chain. And I will tell you, this is very difficult to do due to the shape of the prongs. I don't know, prongs, the little measuring stick things. And it takes a little bit of a delicate finagling, I'll call it. We're gonna measure the inside of that one to the inside of this one. It's a challenge. Try not to hook onto the inner links, and then give her a whirl. And I don't know, that seems to be the best I can do. And it's upside down, yes. So I get 3.68. Well, I should get 3.69. So to me, that's pretty close. Kind of hacking it. If I were to be able to change the shape of these just don't fit into the links very well. Going between the outer links but on the inner links, like there just isn't enough space in here to really get a good feel. So if they were to change the shape of these little arms, I think that would work pretty good. And then you just have to do the math. I know math. And I was just reminded about a tool from Adam Kieran over at the Zero Friction cycling site, that there's this Abby tool, and I like it because it has no moving parts. And it's a little pricey, but it's not too bad. I mean, if you're going to check your chain all the time and get good numbers, it's probably worth it. The other thing it does is it checks that, I don't know, I call it the side flex, right? Not other checkers do that, so maybe this is unique in that perspective. And it's also pretty easy to use. All you do is engage one end of the tool, and then you sort of swing it, swivel it up and down until the hole lines up with your pin in your chain. And there's increments, there's a 0%, there's 1%, 0.75, 0.5, and 0.25. And then you see here that this chain lines up with the 0.25. As a review, these 3-prong go-no gauges will work for your flat top chains. Chains that measure from the inside, regardless of being digital or regular, will not work. So my Park Tool gauge is actually in with my tools. So this one's made by Lizine, and it's sort of the same concept as the good old tried and true Park Tool one, which I'll put up a photo. And that is, again, it's measuring it wants to spread the chain, right? It's measuring from, I'll just call it the inside of a roller to the inside of the roller. It's not taking into account the whole roller. Just like this digital one is just kind of a digital version of doing the same thing. So I hope this helps you make a decision if you're going to buy a gauge to measure your SRAM chains, or maybe you don't have a SRAM chain, you have some other chain, maybe someday you'll have a SRAM chain, so maybe you want to get the right tool now. And check out the Sram Red E1 it's a pretty cool chain. I don't know what it weighs, but when I first took it out of the box, it definitely felt different than the regular red chain. And the price is not too bad. Well, happy riding, and I'll catch you next time.